Welcome back. Now, it's one of those opportunities to give lessons to the younger generation with Mr. Juwon. Now, Juwon is here and he has something that is considered a blend of Yoruba folk tales, and he blends them with jazz and storytelling. And it's a really unique way to connect children with cultural heritage. It's great to have you here with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so for people that don't understand exactly what you're trying to achieve, can you break it down in layman's terms? Folk tales, music, jazz. Do you have a name you call everything together?
I haven't thought about a name yet.
Okay.
But I just call like my genre kind of Afro jazz.
Afro jazz.
In a way, maybe that's what it is.
Okay.
It's very experimental in its making. So the idea is like storytelling is a thing that has been in our culture for a very long time. And I feel like in recent time, it has been on the decline.
Okay.
So where my work comes in is just a sort of revitalization, but bringing it to the modern landscape. Because storytelling used to happen in physical space. So I'm considering some of the things that we have now, cyberspace. So I'm thinking of bringing storytelling to streaming platforms and performing it in my own way with the kind of training that I have in music. So that's what the idea is about.
So we need to talk about the musical background that you have. When you say training in music, what do you mean?
So I trained as a classical musician.
Okay.
I also learned jazz in school, and I'm currently still a PhD student in music jazz studies. So
wow, where?
University of Pittsburgh.
Wow. Okay, fantastic. Now that's for you to take the study of music to the PhD level. This is deep ingrained. This is your world. This is your life. Right. And you've decided to dedicate a lot of your time to making sure that you connect children with their cultural heritage. Right. I feel like there's a story behind that.
I just feel in recent time we are all too pursuing about like globalization, the idea of like pop culture, and I feel like what makes us in terms of our culture, our heritage is kind of fading away. So for me, it's just a way of bringing that idea back, of initiating kids back into the culture in a way of making them think through our culture in our own way. So, and in these stories, in some of this music, they are filled with philosophies. They are filled with ideologies that I feel like children need to connect with, so they know who they are, from where they are coming from, for them to know where they are heading. Okay,
so now children of 10 years ago are different to children of today.
Right.
You know, they are, what's the word, engrossed, or I don't want to use the term distracted by a lot of technology. I'm wondering how you felt this would work, how you felt it would connect with them, and what sort of impact it's actually had. So do you have some strategies, some secrets that I could use to connect with kids on another level? How have you been able to make it work?
I mean, yeah, talking about the technology, so that's what I'm talking about in terms of bringing this cultural tradition, cultural practice to their space. To their space of technology, where they are. It's on YouTube, it's on all these spaces where they can watch it. And you know, it used to be like a sort of educational material for children in the past, where they learn the language, you know, they learn how to even narrate the story themselves, and it helps them to navigate through language, through soundscape of the Yoruba people, for instance. So that's the idea for me. That's me bringing it to their own world, rather than them coming to physical space to listen to stories.
So how has the response been? And is the response coming from the children or their parents?
I feel it's both ways, because for the parents, it's kind of nostalgia for them, because these are some of the songs they grew up also listening to. They are familiar with the sound, so whenever they listen to it, it's kind of a nostalgia. And to talk about like how the effect has been so far, it's very difficult for me to say for now, because the album just came out like on Sunday, on the 25th. So, but over time, I've been getting kind of good feedback from people. I was on a show yesterday, I was talking about this, and people were actually dialing in and talking about it. So I feel the impact will be more measurable in times to come, not immediate.
All right, so let's touch on the album now. What's the title of the album?
The album is Iya Iya, Mother Mother.
Wow, fantastic. How many tracks are on this album?
It's an 8-track album.
8?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And all of them in the same genre?
Basically, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. So I know you probably have a favorite.
You
probably have a favorite. What's the first one that comes to mind?
the story itself, because
Yes.
the story unfolds into like 3 of the tracks.
Oh.
And I'll say that's my favorite because that's like what I want people to listen to.
Okay,
But of course, the other tracks are also like connected to that story. Because in a physical storytelling, there is a session that happens before the storytelling, which is like the redo. They
Okay.
call it Alo Akpamo. It is the redo, and that's the first track. Then the following tracks are the story itself. Then what follows after a story session is to talk about the morals of the story.
story.
And that's what Yeye Omo and Eroja, for instance, is about. Talking about what has transpired in the story and what we make of the story. How important the mother is in the society. And the importance of the energy you put to the world is what you get back. So that's the kind of... So it's all important to me, I would say.
So the translation and literal translation of what you're saying is of a lot of importance.
Yeah.
So that you don't, is it miscommunicate meanings when you're expressing yourself in your music, in your performances? Do you have a way of confirming things like pronunciations, literal meanings of things? Do you have maybe a place you go to research on these?
Yeah, so I'm not working alone. I'm working
Okay.
with like group of experts. Like for instance, the narration itself, it was narrated by a friend of mine, Aremo Gemini, who is actually a Yoruba poet and has written a lot on the Yoruba culture.
Fantastic.
So I have this team of people that I work with that anything I'm not sure about, particularly with the Yoruba culture, I just get to
You
ask
confirm.
them. Yeah.
All right. No, I have to say thank you so much for what you're doing, and what you've produced is essentially legacy-like, and it's definitely going to outlive you down the line.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I want to make sure that our family get to see this. Your social media handles have been on the screen, so as soon as you can, just visit his page so you can check out some of his performances right there on social media. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Juwon, for coming to talk to us.
Thank you very much.
All right then. Now we have to rush off to another break right now. We are far spent on time, but there's still so much more coming your way. Stay with us.